Alright, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Chasing the Truth. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back. And I know y'all like the intro with the flashing lights because that's to wake your ass up, alright? So we're gonna get right into it, alright? Does racism still exist in America in 2024? Alright, and before I answer that, we're gonna start off with the 2020 census data. And just a little quick story about the 2020 census. When the census dude came to my apartment in 2020, he almost got his ass whooped because this was in the middle of the COVID lockdowns and he came knocking on my door with a mask on and I was straight from kickboxing class and I was about to whoop his ass. But I digress. Let's get to the numbers. Okay, so the US population in 2020 was calculated around 330 million, and I'm going to focus on the four major racial groups, all right? 65% white Caucasian slash Caucasian, 20% Hispanic slash Latino, 13% black slash African American, and 6% Asian. All right, now we're going to get to the question in the title of this video. Does racism still exist in America in 2024? And the answer to that is hell yes, okay? And it's for three major reasons. Coons, racist ass white people, and the system. Alright, I'm gonna say it again for those people in the back who could not hear. Okay? Why racism still exists in America in 2024 is because of coons, racist ass white people, and the system. Now, some of you might be like, damn, Chase, what is a coon? Okay? Now, I know black people know what coons are, but some of my non-black people don't know what a coon is. So that's why you here on Chasing the Truth, and I'm gonna help you out and check out this clip right here.
Now, I've listened to your black ass talk all day about how much you can't stand black folks.
Ain't two of them in the history of the world that's worth a squirrel for it.
Oh, how much you love white folks.
Best thing the good Lord ever did for the planet Earth.
Ruckus, you black as ace of spades, man.
I don't see the need for you to go and insult the man after a game of checkers.
Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks, which is a cartoon which premiered in the early 2000s, he is the perfect example of a coon. Now, here's Chasing the Truth's 2024 definition of a coon. A coon is a black American who hates being black, who wishes they were white. And this is where it gets really bad. They even conduct themselves as a racist ass white person. And one of the worst things is they're in denial about being a coon. Now, here's another example of Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks being a coon.
Here it is. My test results. Can you hear my heart beating? Oh, the white man's science is amazing, ain't it? Oh, no. This can't be. It says I'm 102% African with a 2% margin of error. Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why?
Here is a 2024 example of an American coon. Candace Owens. We're going to talk about why Candace Owens is a coon. Okay, so first of all, who was Candace Owens? Candace Amber Owens Farmer is an American conservative political commentator, author, activist, and television presenter. She gained her prominence for her conservative views and outspoken commentary on various social and political issues. Okay, so this is a picture of Candace Owens, and I think she's a pretty young lady. And I want to pay attention to this right here because this is why you guys are on Chasing the Truth. 2017 to present. All right, we're gonna keep in mind this 2017. But anyway, I'm gonna scroll down to right here. In 2007, while a 17-year-old senior in high school, Owens received 3 racist death threat voicemail messages totaling 2 minutes from a group of white classmates. All right, so we just gonna keep that in mind. But just say Joshua Starr, the city superintendent of schools, listened to the voicemail messages and said they were horrendous. Owens' family sued the Stanford Board of Education and federal court, alleging that the city did not protect their rights, resulted in a $37,500 settlement in January of 2008. All right. So Candace Owens has experienced racism in her life, but we gonna we're going to pay attention to that 2017 date. So let's scroll down a little bit right here. All right. So conservative activism. By late 2017, Owens had produced pro-Trump commentary and criticizing notions of structural racial, systemic inequality, and identity politics, all positions she herself had been publishing 2 years earlier. So prior to 2017, it sounds like Candace was talking about real shit like structural racism, systematic inequality, and identity politics, because those are all things that really exist. But in August 2017, she began posting political themed videos to YouTube. In September 2017, she launched Red Pill Black, a website and YouTube channel that promotes black conservatism in the United States. Now, here's where it gets very interesting. Remember, I said keep in mind 2017. On November 21st, 2017, at a MAGA rally and expo in Rockford, Illinois, Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk, who was racist as hell, all right, announced that Owens had been hired as the organization's director of urban development. Turning Point's hiring of Owens occurred in the wake of allegations of racism at Turning Point. Because remember, I just said that Charlie Kirk, he's a racist ass white person, okay? 100%. He's a conservative commentator just like Candace Owens, but he is a racist ass white person. In May of 2019, Owens announced her departure as communications director for the organization. All right, now we'll scroll down. So I will say right now that I do agree with a lot of people's political views and who are conservative and or Republican, but I will not call myself a Republican because although I agree with a lot of the issues when it comes to race, okay, I do not agree with Republicans and conservative people, okay? Not all, some. Obviously, there are some Republicans, but I do think that there's a good percentage of people who call themselves Republicans that are really racist as hell when it comes down to it. All right, so here we go. Here we go to race relations, and this is why Candace Owens is not only a coon, but she's a super coon. All right, so let's go right here. She said that Black Americans are doing worse off economically today than they were doing in the 1950s under Jim Crow, adding that this is because we've only been voting for one party since then. She attributed the economic improvements for African Americans, such as low unemployment rate, to Trump's presidency. Now, that's debatable, but that's a political comment. That's not what I have issue with. That's coming up. On several occasions, Owens claimed that the effects of white supremacy and white nationalism are exaggerated and would not reach her own personal top 100 list of modern issues facing Black America, especially when compared to other issues facing Black Americans, such as black on black crime and illiteracy rates. That's why Candace Owens is a coon, okay? So if Candace Owens was true, and remember, prior to 2017, she was talking about real shit, but she sold herself out, okay? Because the real reason behind black on black crime and illiteracy rates in America is white supremacy, okay? So that's just a fact, all right? And that's why y'all are here on Chasing the Truth. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, okay? The root cause of black on black crime and illiteracy rates in America is white supremacy. So we're gonna scroll down here, and I'm gonna just another example why she's a coon and she's a super coon. All right. Oh, here we go, right here. In June 2019, Owens said that African Americans had it better in the first 100 years after abolition of slavery in the United States than they have since, and that socialism was at fault. In June 2020, Owens claimed that George Soros paid people to protest the murder of George Floyd, which is kind of true. Shortly afterwards, she argued that George Floyd was not a good person, and I don't care who wants to spin that. Well, guess what? We gonna spin that at Chasing the Truth. All right, Candace Owens, that's a coon statement. All right, everybody saw George Floyd get choked out on national TV, but you're gonna say that he wasn't a good person. All right, and the problem with the American coon is George Floyd, regardless of what you want to say about him, he was a black man, all right? And guess who else is black, Candace? You are, okay? So am I. All right, that's why it's important when the police is killing black people, but the coon says it's not police brutality and it's not racism. Anyway, she says the fact that he has been held up as a martyr sickens me. Then President Trump retweeted Owens' remarks about Floyd. In a Facebook video that garnered nearly 100 million views, Owens called Floyd a horrible man, horrible human being, citing his criminal record, and called racial biases among police a fake narrative. Well, damn, Candace, was it a fake narrative when those white dudes were calling you a racist or giving you racist marks back in high school in 2007? Was that a fake narrative, or was it only a fake narrative after you sold your soul to people like Charlie Kirk, who was racist as hell, and Turning Point, and you was getting a check? Okay, that's what's wrong with the coon. Okay, the problems with coons in America and super coons like Candace Owens is very profitable. Okay, Candace Owens, something sparked in her head in 2017. Like, damn, if I turn out to be a coon, I could get a check. I could get a very good check because the thing about coons and why people like them so much is they want to be like, hey, look at this black person. Yeah, that's what you should be like. No, you shouldn't. Candace Owens is a coon and she sold herself out. That's why I don't like Candace Owens. On April 20th, 2021, Owens claimed that the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former police officer who was convicted of murdering Floyd, was mob justice. She added that this was not a fair trial. No person can say that that was a fair trial. Here are two examples of 2024 racist ass white people: Charlie Kirk and Benny Johnson. Alright, remember how I said that Candace Owens, she started working for Turning Point USA in 2017? Well, Turning Point USA, let's see this. Turning Point USA is an American nonprofit organization that advocates for conservative politics on high school, college, and university campuses. It was founded in 2012 by Charlie Kirk, aka racist ass white person, and Bill Montgomery. All right, so the important thing about 2017 was they hired Candace Owens. Turning Point's hiring of Owens occurred in the wake of allegations of racism at Turning Point. Okay, and I'm just say right now that I know Wikipedia isn't the best source, but I only got 15 subscribers right now, so I really don't care. All right, and this is all public information, but we can go to Charlie Kirk, and I ain't gonna waste my time on him, but he's one of these conservative, aka Republican young white men who is racist as hell. Okay, and it's proven, and he's just racist as hell. But another one I want to focus my attention on is Benny Johnson. Okay, this guy, he's somebody who I used to follow on Twitter, also known as X right now. It's not Twitter anymore, but anyway, I used to follow him, and you know what? Let's just look at his bio a little bit. But we're gonna scroll down here. It says a month after his relationship ended with IJR was terminated in in October 2017, Johnson joined the Daily Caller. In 2019, he became a chief creative officer at Turning Point USA, aka Charlie Kirk's racist ass platform. Okay, now here's my issue with Benny Johnson. All right, this is Benny Johnson's Twitter. I used to follow him on Twitter, and let's just read this tweet. Okay, no shortage of influence in their mid-30s posting on how fulfilling their unmarried, childless lives are. It's always the same content. Look at me, I'm drunk at the Beyonce concert. Now I'm hungover at brunch, LOLs. Now this is my issue with you, Benny Johnson, and why you are a racist ass white person. Why gotta be a Beyonce concert? Okay? Like, you could have picked a lot of different artists and stuff like that, but why all of a sudden when you're talking about something that's just very negative, being drunk, and you say being unmarried and childless, which is such a bad thing in your mid 30s, you talk about, oh, let's just add to it and say you're at a Beyonce concert. But here's why I know you are a racist ass white person. Okay, why you gotta choose Beyonce when here's the thing. Let's go back and let's search. Let's go to Benny Johnson's Twitter and let's just type in Taylor Swift. Okay, and let's do search. Here we go. So, yeah, so on January 29th, 2024, he tweeted about Taylor Swift. January 10th, Taylor Swift. October 6th, 2018, Taylor Swift. February 15th, 2016, Taylor Swift. November 6th, 2018, Taylor Swift. July 20th, 2018, Taylor Swift. February 15th, 2016, Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, January 9th, 2018, Taylor Swift. But damn, the one time you talk about some racist ass shit, you mention Beyonce. That's why you a racist ass white person. Now, with the system, I'm talking about the education system, the economic system, and the prison system. The education system. I'm going to talk about the education system, and my argument here, chasing the truth, is that there are some inequalities within the education system in America. So remember earlier, I said that according to the 2020 census, America is 65% white, 20% Hispanic, 13% black, and 6% Asian. And what I'm going to do is focus on the state of Indiana, okay? And I'm going to focus on the state of Indiana is because that's where I went to college, okay? And you go to college because, you're supposed to go there, learn, network, and get a job and be a productive member of society, and that's what we do here in America. So here are the statistics for the demographics of Indiana, okay? Indiana is 78% white, 9% black, 3% Hispanic, okay, and 2% Asian. All right. And then we're going to go to Purdue University because that's where I went to school. And it says the enrolled student population at Purdue University main campus is 57.6% white, 10.3% Asian, 6% Hispanic or Latino, and we're going to skip this part right here and then say 3% black or slash African American, okay? Now, I just want to point out just two of the racial groups, okay? 60% white, that's expected. It's in the middle of Indiana, but I'm going to focus on the Asian and black population, okay, of Purdue University. Now, when I went to Purdue University, I can't even remember seeing an Asian person, okay? And when I was an undergrad, and I'm just gonna keep it real, all right. But when I went to grad school, all right, it was an influx of Asian students, and you got to ask yourself if there's only 2% of people in Indiana that are Asian, and 6% of the U.S. population is Asian, but 10% of the campus of Purdue University is Asian. Like, where are they coming from? And I'm gonna let y'all know here on Chasing the Truth. All right, I remember being in grad school at Purdue University, seeing people with driving around in Ferraris and Bentleys and stuff like that who could barely speak English, okay? Because they're coming from overseas. And Purdue, it's not necessarily a university, but it's damn near a Fortune 500 company. It's a business, okay? And all they want is the money. They didn't care that these kids can't speak English, can barely speak English, but you got to ask yourself, are Asians smarter than all the other racial groups? You know, are they receiving the same education as everybody else? And then let's get to the black population, okay? All right. So America's 13% black and 9% black people in Indiana, but it's only 3% of the population at Purdue. All right. And you got to ask yourself, like, that's very disproportionate. If everything was all equal, things would be more closer to represent the population of either the state or the country, but significantly less. So we got to ask yourself, are black people receiving the same education opportunities prior to going to Purdue as everyone else? Are they as smart as everyone else? I don't know. Okay, all I'm saying is that if everything were equal, things would be more closer to the population numbers. And I'm not claiming racism or anything, but hey, college is supposed to be a microcosm of society in the workplace, and I'm just saying that things are unequal. The economic system. All right, so I want to talk about the economic system that I've been mentioning, and part of the reason you go to school, especially college, is you want to go and obtain a good education, network, and eventually get a good job and maybe you work for one of these Fortune 500 companies and climb the corporate ladder, okay? So let's see who's on top of this corporate ladder. All right, so here we have Investopedia.com and talk about the CEOs and the racial makeup of the CEOs. Despite Latinx and Hispanic individuals being the largest racial or ethnic minority group in the United States, making up 19.1% of the population according to the latest Census Bureau data. Let's skip that part. It shows an increase to 27 Latinx Hispanic CEOs in 2023, up from 22 in 2022. Okay, so that is about 6% of the Fortune 500 CEOs. All right. Now, this is what really messes me up and even hurts me to read this next sentence. And while black people make up 13.6% of the country, only 12 were CEOs in 2023. All right. So that's 2% of Fortune 500 companies. Okay. So being a black man in America, you're telling me I'm supposed to go work my whole life and everybody's job, and that's everybody's goal, or a lot of people's goal, is to be CEO, and only 2% of the CEOs of Fortune 500 companies are black. Okay, so let's go on to read this next one. Of racial and ethnic minority groups, Asian Americans, who comprise of 6.3% of the population, had the most representation at the CEO level, 50 during 2023, up 18 in 2023. So that's about 10%, or that's not about, that is 10% of the Fortune 500 CEOs. Okay, so we have two racial groups that are proportionately more than their population of the US, which are whites and Asians, and then we have two groups which are significantly less, which are Latin Americans, Hispanic Americans, and black Americans. Okay, so I'm not claiming racism or anything like that. I'm just saying that there are some disparities and disproportionate numbers in terms of the U.S. population and representation at the top of these Fortune 500 companies with the CEO. The prison system. All right, here we have the Bureau of Justice Statistics. Okay, and this is where we're going to talk about the prison system. All right, so here we go. Jump down to right here. It says the U.S. prison population was 1,230,100 on December 31st, 2022, a 2% increase from 2021. But here's the important thing. Let's look at who they're locking up. All right, at year end 2022, 32% of persons sentenced to a state or federal prison were black. Okay, so 32% of the prison population is black people. All right, however, 13% of the population is black people. That is a serious issue, okay? And that's what I want to talk about on my channel. All right, are black people more inherently prone to are committing crimes? All right, or are there injustices and inequalities within our prison system and justice system? That's what I'm arguing here. Okay, let's continue. While 31% were white, 23% were Hispanic. Okay, we're going to skip the multiracial and other race, and then we're going to go back to the 1% are Asian. Okay, so we just going to keep it real, and I'm going to be very brief with this here. I'm going to say this again. 13% of the population is black people, but 32% of the people in prison are black. Okay, and my argument is things are very unequal still in America in 2024, and I will argue that a lot of people in power want black people locked up. Okay, so thanks everybody for checking out the video, and I just want to say in closing, the American coon is working with racist ass white people and this fucked up system, the education system, the economic system, and the prison system, and it's perpetual racism still in 2024, and it's not gonna stop, and in my opinion it's getting worse. So that's why y'all came here on Chasing the Truth. I appreciate y'all checking out the video, and I will catch y'all next time.